Welcome to the CodeX Cantina, where I am Una, and this is my sons, Jake and the Pirate Sword.
And I am 500 miles. And that song goes?
It's over 9,000! All right, guys, today we are doing our Q&A 500 response, where enough of you have been very gracious and nice to ask us some questions about ourselves. And we're going to answer, hopefully get through all of them. We'll try and go through as fast as we can. Crypto.
All right. Welcome to the Codex Cantina. I'm Crypto. So I took all the questions.
Did I not do the welcome? Did I just skip over that?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was doing 9,000.
You weren't paying attention to me?
So we don't have any of...
This is the relationship that we have, I tell you.
So none of this is scripted, and you guys asked for this, so you asked for it, and we've been drinking, so I took and compiled all the questions you guys were gracious enough to ask for and ask us, and we got well over 30, and tried to include everybody's name, but on the Google form, it was anonymous, so some of the last questions don't have names, hopefully all of these get answered. We'll try to tell as many stories as possible. Some have really short answers, some have long answers. And if I mess up your name or forget to call you out, I do apologize now. But we had a lot, so let's get started.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Oh, why are you so loud now? Why are you yelling at me?
I don't know. I'm getting nervous because I haven't even seen these questions.
All right, be ready. All right. So Mark Nash asks, which are your favorite philosophers, and what do you see in your relationship between fiction and philosophy? What do you see is the relationship between fiction and philosophy?
That one's probably for me, right?
Yes.
Mark's a good guy. Smart guy. Check out his channel. I'm going to go with a non-answer here, where I'm going to differentiate where I don't pick sides based on philosophers. What I do is I will read their works, assuming I understand them. Some of those works are pretty hard. I will actually choose things that resonate with me and things that don't. And I don't even know if that's really fair, because sometimes you have to be all in on something, and I'm just not all in maybe on what some philosophers have said. The ones that probably have had the most amount of things that ring true is probably Søren Kierkegaard. So he is kind of like an existentialist, Danish, I believe. It's been a long time since I've read his works. Very, very difficult to read for me. And I think I used him a lot in some of the Tolstoy breakdowns that we had, where when characters are kind of looking at what matters and what doesn't matter in life, I've used existentialism a lot to understand some of those characters.
Isn't he the guy that thinks that everything is like good? He thinks the best in people, right? Kierkegaard?
Oh, hell no.
Oh,
no.
Is he the person that thinks everything's bad?
Well, he's an existentialist, so he thinks everything's meaningless.
Yeah, okay, everything's meaningless. Yeah, I knew that. Whew, yeah. I'm glad that you're leading our channel with that philosophy in mind. All right, let's move on to question 2. All right, so nothing matters. Moving on to question 2. Oh, and I forgot to say, I did try to combine when people asked similar variations of the same question. So Alan Morton and Bookish both asked about our names and our channel name. So you want to start off with your name? My name is Una. Okay. Where'd you get that from, Una?
It's been... So Crypto and I started this channel where we met 5 years ago now. Is that right?
Yeah, about 5 years.
Playing an online game together where I was the valiant and strong leader of this guild of strong warriors where we recruited Crypto.
Jedi.
And eventually... we started doing book chats because we realized that we were really into books, and we just started talking online, and probably 5-6 people started kind of regularly once a week, like we do here, join and start talking about books. And we used our online video game names to continue that. So I was Una in this online video games, and Crypto here was Crypto Acid.
Yeah, that's good. And for the channel name on Discord, we had a server channel where we'd only do book talk, so it wouldn't get bogged down in all of the video game stuff. And so we were trying to think of a cool thing, and we're big Star Wars nerds. And so the channel name was actually created by my wife. And so props to her. She came up with the name CodeX Cantina for the Codex, which is a device that holds information like a book in the Star Wars lore, and the cantina is a place where people hang out and talk in Star Wars as well. So we kind of put those two together, and so that's how we came up with the Codex Cantina. So all about Star Wars nerdom. Well,
in real life world, Codex is like a bound book as opposed to a scroll. But yeah, it started with Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. All right, good. Book Invasion asks, what is the most bizarre book that you have read? And if you could be on a one-way trip to Mars or live off-grid in a tiny house in the place of your choosing, which would you pick? So go with bizarre book, and I'll answer the other one.
Let's go with the book that we just did tonight, the short story, the Terrible Vengeance. That was weird.
Now, check out our video on that one. It was strange.
Well.
I would totally want to live on Mars because I would Mark Watney the shit out of that place. That's so masculine.
Like the planet that's supposed to represent war. Really, that's the one you're going to choose.
I don't want to live in a tiny house. Spinelli Speaks asks, are there any books that you had to read, example for school or book club, that you hated but found value in their content?
Yeah, Tolstoy. We could not stand the writing of The Death of Ivan Ilyich, but the meaning was like one of the greatest meanings. It was incredible. Loved it.
Yeah, The Death of Ivan Ilyich, while we said before, subjectively, we gave it like 5s or something. The content there is one of the most important pieces ever. It influenced some very heavy hitters in life, so check out that video as well. All
Dr.
right.
King, Gandhi.
Yeah. So you might have heard of those guys' names. Next is Mayberry Book Club asked us 2 questions. What's a book or movie you two absolutely disagree on? And so we'll have to talk about this for a second because we didn't come up with an answer for beforehand.
I can't stand the new DC movies, and Crypto likes them for some reason.
Yeah, I love the ones. Give me more. Yeah. So Mayberry Book Club also asked, what are some favorite books or movies you've discovered from each other? Everything we've read, I've discovered from Una.
Crypto is into more sci-fi fantasy, and it's not been a primary focus. We did do a couple early on in this channel, but I just don't know if it was right for putting it through the literary lens that we do. But I'm sure at some point I will delve more into Crypto's. Okay, let's be honest. Crypto's my captive. I abuse him. That's just all there is to it.
One day we will get to the Wheel of Time series, and we'll do that for like 5 years.
Wheel of Time. Is that Jordan?
Yeah, Robert Jordan.
And it was finished by Brandon Sanderson, right?
And his son.
Oh my gosh.
It's co-authored.
Dude, you just made our Discord, like our friends on that Discord channel, just scream in excitement because they're trying to get me to read Sanderson, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, tell them you're going to start with The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan.
I don't know if I've heard. They keep talking about this Way of Kings, whatever that is.
Yeah, I've never read that.
Oh,
don't tell them I'm not
now you just went down in points.
Yeah, just cut all of it out that I'm not a Sanderson fan.
All right, next question.
Remembered Reads asks, you've mentioned before that most of your reading or just a book collection is there different from materials you talk about on the channel, and what is in that collection? I think you just did a video on that.
Yeah, I just did the library tour. Some of you may know that I used to own and operate my own business, very stressful. Didn't have a lot of time that when I did read, it was definitely escapism. Like I wanted fun. So I did a lot of comics and I did a lot of fun for reading. What I do now in terms of the literary stuff is more for the literary challenge of things and not something that I did back then. So kind of depending on your mood and what's going on in your life, you may find yourself reaching for different things. That was more escapism and more fun. Now that I have a lot more free time having sold that business, I'm able to focus on maybe some more challenging works that I do like to exercise that muscle a lot.
Nice. All right, next we have 4 questions from Lost Cunningham. What was the last book that you read that pissed you off?
Yeah, I think it's not a matter of being pissed off at a book so much as maybe they didn't achieve the goals that they wanted to. They didn't say anything.
The third Thrawn book, I was definitely poo-poo on that one. Lost Cunningham asked, what song would you want to be played at your funeral?
I used to say 43% burnt by the Dillinger Escape Plan, but I doubt I would say that again now. I haven't thought enough about that since.
I would do, what's the Pour Some Sugar on Me? Because that was my wedding song, too.
Little hair metal for you? Okay.
Yeah. Lost Cunningham also asked, any recommendations on underrated films you think more people should watch?
Let me go with Samurai Fiction.
Book of Eli. That movie is so underrated. I love that movie.
Okay.
He also asked favorite bourbon, and you're the beer guy, so I am on a Crown Royal kick. Ever since Jack Daniels skyrocketed in price, I've been buying Crown Royal, and then I got Crown Royal Vanilla as a gift, and I've been mixing it with Coke Zero. Oh, it is so good. All right, we got a combo here. Bookish Seeking Stories asked, where did we become friends? And you kind of already answered that. But
I enslaved him in a video game.
Yeah. Then they also asked, I don't remember who it was later, or if this was anonymous, how many times we've met in real life.
Dose.
Yeah. Star Scream Live asks, Una, what are your top 5 favorite authors?
Ooh, 5? William Faulkner, Kurt Vonnegut. I'm going to say Flannery O'Connor. Off the cuff, I'm going to go with...
You better say one. If not, I'm going to be so mad at you.
Say one.
There's one. There's one answer you have to give, or I'll be mad.
What?
Stephen King.
No, I don't think I put Stephen King in my top 5.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to
go with... We can't be friends anymore.
That's okay. I'll go with Kierkegaard and Plato. There you go. There's my 5.
Worst friend ever. Regathon asks, what literary fiction are you embarrassed that you have read? I've read the Twilight books. I had to know what they were about, and I still don't get it.
Are you going to read the new one?
I don't think so. I don't need to.
You don't want that pomegranate life? You don't want to read about that?
I don't need that pomegranate life. He also asked, what is the furthest you've gone away from home? And I've been to Europe, and I think you've been to Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Mike's Library asked, what other metal bands do you like, Una? I don't like metal, so.
I listen to a lot of metal. Meshuggah, classics, Pantera, Metallica, stuff like that. More obscure things. Tends to be more rhythmic and based in terms of things like that. So yeah, lots of metal. In terms of recent shows that I've been to, I went to Slipknot Fest, or not Fest, whatever it's called, for Slipknot and Gojira, and recently saw Ginger live when they came here to town in Indy.
All right,
just real casual. Nothing too serious. Super casual.
Okay, I don't know what any of that meant, but cool. Lost in a Bookcase asks, have you ever hit a deer or any other animal while driving?
A bird. When I got out and I buried it. It's kind of awkward and kind of weird.
You buried it?
Yeah, I felt bad. Like I literally saw it just bing, like a ping pong just off my front shield, and I like superhuman tracking. Like, you know how hard it is to see it? There's a little bitty bird, and I saw it land in the ground. I pulled over, went over there. I didn't want to touch it. It's a dead bird, even though it was only dead for a couple minutes. Dug a little grave with a stick real quick, put the bird in there, covered it up, put the stick as the grave marker. Done.
Man, you are a sweet man. You are a sweet, sweet man. I grew up, basically in a farming community of very, very small community, and I think everybody had hit a deer or something at some point in time. And I think I remember this question. They had hit an alligator here in Florida, where I live now. I've never hit an alligator. I've had to swerve around a few down in Alligator Alley. There's this place where it goes across the Everglades where there's tons of alligator crossing. I've had to swerve around a few, but I've never hit one. But yeah, where I grew up, everybody hit a deer, basically. So, okay. Bits of Lit asks, Una, what is your favorite foreign film?
Either Throne of Blood, which I think is the Macbeth remake, or Rashomon.
Okay. Between Lines and Life asks, if you would have to sum up your reading taste in a scent, or a meal, what one would you choose? A scent or a meal?
I would choose corned beef roast.
I would choose scent and pick... I would choose scent and I would say motor oil and burnt rubber.
That's super manly. Gosh, I want to change mine now. I want to choose something that I use with my hands instead of a knife and a fork.
Big emu leg. It's not actually turkey, people. It's emu. I don't know how to say this one. Rambling.
Raconteur.
Thank you. Asks what I teach and what expanded universe Star Wars books have we read. I teach U.S. history to juniors and AP world history to sophomores. And one of the things that you suggested from the other question that you told me about to read many years ago was Darth Bane trilogy. I'd never read that from the expanded universe Star Wars books, and you suggested that, and I read it, and it is absolutely amazing. It's the best Star Wars trilogy books ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, those are my favorites expanded universe, for sure. Okay. And people are gonna be like, "You didn't choose Thrawn." Fight me. Fight me.
Darth Bane trilogy is so much better. All right, so we're going to go a little bit rapid fire here and do some very short ones. How long does it take to fix your hair?
I don't. I woke up this way. I'm like Beyonce. Wow. I woke up this way.
Mine takes about 30 seconds because I put the stuff in here. My sister's a hairdresser. She owns her own salon. And so she just sends me stuff and I put it in my hair and I go brrr, and then that's kind of it. It doesn't take long at all. Okay. What genre do you refuse to read? I would say none.
I would say romance. I don't want to read romance. I don't want to do it.
I understand. But I would never refuse to read something. That's just not in my nature to not learn. What is your most recent favorite SFF short story? Science fiction fantasy? I'm guessing that's what that means.
Yeah. I'm going to go with to be or not to be.
Okay. That would be the same for me as well then. Are there any things that you wish you would be better at in relation to our channel? Ooh, that's deep.
Oh, that's a long list, dude. Oh, man. I would say for myself as a performer, I like a lot of my analysis. It needs to be tight, and that's what I focus on the most. But I realize I am terrible at delivering stuff. There's a lot of visual and audio. There's a lot of visual and audio stuff that I use to cover up how poor of a deliverer I am.
I wish I did not procrastinate to make my poor friend Una stress so much. If Michael Jackson showed up on your doorstep right now and only said the word pants, what would you do?
I would take my cat, tell him to perform the synchronized dance that we would have prepared in advance, and finished with ripping my pants off. I don't know. That was really hard for rapid fire. Gosh.
I would ask... I would call the government and say I have a zombie because Michael Jackson is deceased.
Oh, hey, do you want to hear a fun story? Actually, the day after Michael Jackson passed away, I believe, was the first date I ever had with my wife.
Oh.
So that's actually how we remember how long we've kind of known each other, more or less.
My wife and I had been together 3 years, and we heard the news when we were driving. I don't even remember where, but I know exactly where we were and what. We were right next to a gas station when we heard the news, and every time I pass that gas station, I think of Michael Jackson. So what number?
Did you just one-up me? Yeah, I'd already been together 3 years with mine, so...
Yeah, of course, I'm much older than you. Oh, sorry. We don't talk about age.
Becky, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. What number are you thinking of?
69, dude.
17. Best prime number. Will you be able to survive the toothbrush scene in... I do not want to insult the Japanese language by trying to pronounce that.
I think it's Nisei Monogatari. Monogatari. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I really don't. I still got to get through the 4th story here soon, so
Yeah.
coming. I'm gonna get it. All
right. The next one is for me. It says, Crypto, what is your favorite part of teaching and what is your proudest moment as a teacher? I've said it before. I love teaching the Civil War. It's kind of my jam. I know I got a lot of jams, but I got peanut butter too. I love teaching the Civil War. And when I taught that in middle school back in the day before all the craziness, I was actually able to bring in all of my props and everything from reenacting, and I absolutely loved it. I got to bring in all my guns and all the swords and flags and all the gear and all. We set up a tent, and we had the kids marching in battle lines, and they all got to hold the rifles, and they absolutely loved it. It was a thrill, and we told them all the stories and all the fun facts and stuff that you would never normally get to learn. And a couple of my buddies came and did it, and it was my favorite part of all time. And ever since all the horrible things have happened in schools over the last few years, there's no way I could get away with that anymore. So it's really disheartening. My proudest moment as a teacher happened probably about 5 years ago. I had a young lady message me on Facebook for my very first year teaching, and she said she had graduated college, and she just got her first teaching degree or her first teaching job, and she wanted to thank me because she became a teacher because of me. So that that kind of broke my heart. And then another one real quick was, I messaged one of my high school teachers the very next day because it moved me so much. I was like, I got to make somebody else feel good like this to know what a difference they make in life. I messaged one of my high school teachers, emailed him, and told him the most valuable skill I ever learned in high school was he taught me to type. And one of the girls from that school messaged me that works there at this school, that was my friend. She messaged me later on Facebook saying he told the story at lunch, and like people were crying and stuff, and because it's a very small town, so everybody knew who I was still, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Any pet peeves?
Maybe like small ones, like I can't stand the word pretentious. Can't stand it. Hate it. I could go on for hours about how I hate that word.
I have a lot of pet peeves, so...
Apparently, I don't think I have any of them. Do I? Because I don't think you've ever been really mad at me, have you?
Not yet.
Well, I didn't tell you about my birthday. That made you mad.
You broke my heart.
You were a little sourpuss about that one.
Yeah, you broke my heart. I thought we were real friends, and apparently we're not.
You're my imaginary friend. That's
yeah.
Our wives will joke about that. Internet friends, they say, are imaginary friends. They're not real.
Not real. You're not real. You're all in my head. That means I'm talking to myself right now. That's scary. Does pineapple belong on pizza? No.
No. Yeah, go to San Francisco if you want pineapple on pizza. They ruined it.
What is your best Christmas ever?
The one where I got a basketball hoop. Probably 9, 10.
Super Nintendo. 1991.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Had 2 games. I had Sim-City and Dracor, or whatever it was called, the adventure game, and then it came with Super Mario Land. Best Christmas ever.
Okay. Yeah, that's still my favorite system to date.
Yeah, we know it's the only one you know how to play.
I can't take the more advanced ones.
Yeah. Last question is, reflect on our digital friendship that we have made.
Aww. Landing on an emotional one here, huh? All right, you go first.
Una's my best friend, besides my wife. So, without him, none of this would be happening. And I still drag him along kicking and screaming in our digital video game that he roped me into so many years ago. But this has been an absolute pleasure doing this with him. And I hope we have still many more years to come doing this.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's crypto's been an important part of my life in general. Being able to share some of your passions with someone is one of the most rewarding experiences you can have. If we were supposed to go outside of the digital relationships of just us, like other YouTube friends, We've joined some other Discord chats. We've talked with some other people that have been doing books, and I think we've forged some good friendships where we've even done like some game nights and stuff like that with people during this, quarantine coronavirus scare. That we've been able to still have some socially distant, responsible fun with nerds, friends, with people that have similar interests, and even people that don't have similar interests. You can still be friends with people. I think it's kind of interesting when I talk with some people, like I'll message them and they'll be like, why is this guy that's into literary fiction messaging me? And they really start to realize I'm a huge Star Wars big nerd geek person, that it's kind of interesting the boundaries that you can kind of break down through the internet.
Big virtual hug. So that does it for all of our questions, and I just want to say thank you to all that asked the questions. I hope we didn't miss any, and I hope that I didn't mess up any of the names or forget anybody's names.
Well, if we missed any, it's definitely your fault.
100%. I will take responsibility.
That is you.
So normally on here we do literary breakdowns, and we're very scripted.
Wait,
and
is that the most inappropriate? Like, we didn't get any super inappropriate ones. Like
no.
There was one. No. There was one more from Lucas.
What was it?
How do you prove yourself to be a villain?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Oh.
How did I miss that one?
I'm not sure. We'll have to maybe come back to that one.